All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in today's video because they just won 27-14 yesterday afternoon to the Cleveland Browns. And so now this is the 15th straight season where the Pittsburgh Steelers have posted a 500 or better division record. That is the NFL's longest active streak. The Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, have not lost a football game in over 2 calendar months. And it was coincidentally to the Cleveland Browns a couple of weeks ago on the road, but they're about to enter a gauntlet here. Russ is now 6-1. George Pickens didn't play in that football game. We're already hearing George Pickens probably won't play Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. There was a couple of difficult games, and we're about to learn if this team is truly contenders. But as far as I see it, no matter what game you want to bring up, literally any game, we could even use yesterday as an example. I don't care. It's Cleveland. I'm still a divisional game. They can hang with anybody. Yeah, I truly believe the Pittsburgh Steelers can hang with anybody. Russell Wilson now 6-1 as the starter. Yesterday's game was so interesting because the offense started so slow. They went 3-and-out on 4 of its first 5 offensive possessions. By halftime, Russell Wilson was only 8 of 17 for only 46 yards. And I heard a comparison earlier today on TV, and they were kind of comparing Russ and Pittsburgh to like Russ needing George Pickens compared to Jalen Hurts needing an AJ Brown. And I gotta say, like, the Steelers are 10-3. And as much as you would love to have George Pickens ready to go against another Super Bowl contender in Philadelphia, I would so much rather have him healthy for the second game against Baltimore, and I would so much rather have him fully healthy for this hopefully deep playoff run. But guys, welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in today's video. But before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with a couple of Steelers videos every single week. If we try and get this one to 300 likes, guys, that would mean the absolute world to me. But after halftime, Pittsburgh started to look like Pittsburgh. The defense continues to be utterly dominant. We'll talk about that. But Russ connected last week with 10 different dudes, found 9 yesterday, Sunday afternoon. He finished 15-26 for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that stat sheet doesn't seem great. It isn't great. The best part is 0 interceptions. Russell Wilson is not making mistakes. The Steelers are playing pretty much outside of Cordell Patterson's fumble yesterday, which is few and far between anyways. The Pittsburgh Steelers are just playing such a clean brand of football. They are not turning it over. They're able to run down the field. They are able to put Freiermuth's on a tear right now. George Pickens, when he comes back healthy, great coaching, a top 5 defense there, now a top 10 offense. They're contenders, whether you want to admit it or not. Russell Wilson now at 12 total touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. Defensively as well, Jameis 1 week ago pretty much put up like 500 passing yards against the Denver Broncos. They forced him into 2 interceptions. They also limited him to only 211 passing yards in just 41 total attempts. So pretty great defensive game. It was defensively complete and utter domination all the way up until I think it was Njoku's touchdown with like 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, what have you. And, Cleveland also did miss a couple of field goals. But anyways, now Pittsburgh is 10-3, and they have a 2-game lead on the Baltimore Ravens. And so we're about to see if this team is super legit because they play the Philadelphia Eagles on the road on Sunday. Then you got a Saturday game on the road against Baltimore. And then you come back home, I think, for Christmas Day against the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are 3 of the best teams in the NFL. Some of the best teams right there. First two on the road. This is only 11 days from December 15th to December 25th. They have technically the 3rd hardest remaining strength of schedule in the league and the hardest among teams in the playoff field. But the way I see it is this. First off, Kansas City, I hate watching Kansas City play football because some way, somehow, they always end up winning. I do not understand it. I guess they're just really good, obviously, back-to-back Super Bowl champions. But, Philly at home almost lost to Carolina last week. So even without George Pickens, possibly, I don't think just because Philly hasn't lost in forever, just like Pittsburgh, or they've lost 1 time in the last 2 total months. The point is, any given Sunday, And I hold the firm belief that Pittsburgh can hang in there with every single team in the NFL right now. And I think that's about to ring true here. And I think most people kind of agree. You watch these games, even a stat line like 15 to 26 for 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You even watch Russ in the second half, and he was phenomenal. Russ in the second half was phenomenal. So, real quick, just kind of want to outline, saw this cool tweet from PFF, just the highest graded Steelers in yesterday's game. Jaylen Warren clocking in at number 1, 86.3. Keanu Benton, who had not a pick six, he had an interception that led to the first Steelers touchdown. I think it was from Najee Harris. Yep, Najee Harris. Keanu Benton just sniffing out a screen and getting that interception. Alex Highsmith made his return. I believe he had 6 total pressures, 2 tackles for loss. He had an 84.6 grade. Patrick Queen, 82.6. And Landon Roberts, who made big-time play after big-time play that entire football game. He finished with a 79.6. So the point is, number 1 was Jaylen Warren. Jaylen had a phenomenal game. Specifically, I mean, he had a great game in receiving and rushing. This defense is one of the best in the entire National Football League. You guys know this. We all know this. But when you have a defense like this and you have Russell Wilson playing the way he is playing, like I keep saying, whether or not you want to believe it, no matter whether you agree with it or not, you have to at least agree with the fact that if Pittsburgh, especially if they win the AFC North, you do not want to play them. And a deep playoff run feels imminent. Feels like it's going to happen. It just feels like this is the year where Pittsburgh can finally make a deep playoff run. Russell Wilson on quick throws versus Cleveland yesterday, 13-18, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Certainly was missing George Pickens, but guys like Pat Freiermuth really stepped up. Pat had 3 catches for 48 yards and a huge touchdown on a phenomenal throw from Russell Wilson. Pat also now has 175 yards over his last 3 games, which is the second most he's had in a 3-game stretch in his entire career. 13 catches, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Darnell only saw 1 target yesterday, but I'm just loving recently the just uptick in production from Pat Freiermuth and just more targets, more receptions, touchdowns, you name it. Pat's playing like the Pat Freiermuth we knew and we saw 2 years ago. Darnell also, I would love to see more targets because anytime that dude gets the football, he is a beast. Scotty Miller came through with 3 catches for 38 yards. Mike Williams had 3 catches for 36 yards. Van Jefferson had a 10-yard touchdown. James Pierre also had the 2nd interception. Deshaun Elliott continues to play phenomenal football. He had 13 total tackles yesterday. Like we said, all those linebackers were studs. Cameron Hayward had 2 more sacks. TJ Watt also had a phenomenal game. He's on his way to win Defensive Player of the Year. You should fear this Pittsburgh Steelers team, all right? That's it for this rapid reaction. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Give me your thoughts on this 10-3 Steelers team. How deep can they truly go? Hit that like button, hit that sub button, and we will see you in a couple of days. Peace.